Let's just roll.
Oh, crap. It's Craig.
Fucking Craig, dude. I hate this guy.
Damn it, Craig. Get out of here.
And anyone
Wait,
know a
no.
good Craig? And anyone know a Craig who's nice? A nice Craig?
You know what? You want to know a name that just I associate with like bad people? Tanner. Fucking. I've never met a Tanner where I'm like, you know what, Tanner? Hey, that's a good guy.
Yeah.
There are certain names that, like, for some reason, they do have those negative
Yeah.
attachments.
Right?
Tanner is one where I do know a Tanner and know of one.
Yeah. Gio does it for me. Austin.
Mm.
Every Austin I've met was either an a-hole or I just didn't jive with.
See, I'm fine with Austin's. It's goddamn Tanners, man. I've never met in person a Tanner where I'm like, wow, that guy is not an asshole.
Well, the Tanners out there, if you're listening,
yeah, fuck you.
We're sorry, Tanner, Austin, people of the world with names.
I think Kyle's the easy answer, but Tanner,
Kyle and Karen, that's a power couple right
Christian,
there.
Yep. Especially, I think the worst names are definitely Ryan, Victor, Nick, and Chace. Those are absolutely those are the worst ones.
Total beeholes.
Yeah.
Beeholes, yeah.
Well, Lucas never panned out well either.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your bad Lucas story?
Yeah, George.
No, I remember first grade there was a Lucas I did not like. That nobody.
Yeah, what's his last name and his address?
He lives close, and I don't know his last name.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
We'll get him on
the next hear
it.
All right. Well,
okay.
Welcome back, everyone. This
is Cinema Speak. Sorry, Victor.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's your favorite guys. We're back talking movies once again.
It's me, Victor.
It's I, Nick.
And 'tis I, Chace.
Oh.
Zoinga.
Bravo,
So let me do the little plugs.
Plug it.
We just actually got added to 2 new streaming services.
Oh.
So we're on we're on iTunes, we're on Spotify. I'm waiting to be put onto Google Podcasts, but it's been 3 days and it doesn't say we're on there yet. So
lame.
What was that?
I said lame.
Oh yeah. I don't know what's taking so long.
Yeah.
Then also Stitcher, which I saw as kind of a big site, so I'm like, why not? So we're on Stitcher.
Where do you find all these podcast sites?
By Googling it.
It seems like you have to go out of your way. I've never heard of some of these before.
Sometimes, Nick, you just have to go out of your way. So we're on those sites. Give us a follow. Give us a like. It would help. Please show us that you're listening. Please.
Please, if anyone's out there.
If anyone's out there, give me a sign.
Give us a follow on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We are posting on there on the regular. Not really Facebook, but Twitter and Instagram on the regular. So
we will be at the Brooklyn Bridge Pier at noon when the sun is highest in the sky. We can provide food. We can provide shelter. We can provide security.
Nice Lilo and Stitch reference.
Oh, yeah, that was
Excuse me?
Yeah. I like that Toy Story 1 reference you made right there.
That was real
sure. Yeah, no, actually it was a Beauty and the Beast, really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Little deep cut. Well, we got 2 movies thanks to Chace. Chace's recommendations.
2 hot choices.
What do we got?
So we've got for my first choice, a dang old classic. I think 2010.
Yeah.
I think 2010's Edgar Wright's Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Fantastic. And then also 1999's the Wachowskis presents The Matrix.
Yeah.
I think it's 19. Is it 1999? I'm right.
Yeah.
That's
cool. Right.
Sweet. Yeah.
So what do you guys want to talk
I can't wait, man.
I I don't know. I wanna.
One.
Which one do you guys want to start with? I'm cool with either one. I feel like I have more to talk about Scott Pilgrim than I do for Matrix. So maybe start with Matrix and then
let's
go
start with
to.
I don't like the sound of that.
No. I thoroughly enjoy. I chose the movies, man.
No, I got you. Yeah, we could do the Matrix first.
Cool. Nick, you are so far our starter. So let's get our synopsis in there, buddy.
Okie dokie. The Matrix. Set in the future of the 22nd century, somewhere around 2199, the planet is in apocalypse, taken over by sentient machines that have reduced the human race to cattle. They have humans growing in fields and hooked up to a singular network called the Matrix. Basically, a digital fairyland to keep their brains firing and to make them none the wiser to the machine's plans. On the flip side, though, there's a resistance group of people fighting the machines and trying to free people from said Matrix so they can stop the machines and so forth. We follow a group of survivors led by Morpheus. Their latest person they free is a man named Neo, who is the prophesized man to save humanity. So they save him. They gradually work him through the ranks, get him combat efficient. And oh god, this is tough. I should really write this shit out. God.
Probably.
Oh my god.
I mean, I think that's a decent amount of information.
Yeah.
You're kind of
Fuck it. Yeah, they train him up and they go and fight the machines, blow up the big Death Star thing.
Cool.
Nice. That was a lot.
Fuck, everyone's seen The Matrix. Why do I need to recall this?
That's true.
There's a reason everyone's seen The Matrix, because it's fucking awesome.
It is.
Yeah, I think we can all come into an agreement that this movie kicks ass.
This movie's fun.
This is badass. This is one of those action movies that gives you a pump after seeing it. You just go crazy for it. And there's a select few in that group, like Starship Troopers, Terminator 2, RoboCop. And yeah, this is one of those films. It just gives you a high, gives you a great adrenaline rush. And it's also very philosophically deep at the same time. That's not too bad.
But the thing is it also doesn't take itself super seriously either.
Yes.
Like there's obviously like kind of they have fun with it and not be so like the characters aren't all, this could easily be one of those movies where all the characters are super serious and not have any fun, but it's like they're able to kind of like joke around with each other and still be able to enjoy what is left of the world. And then it's very, when they're out of the Matrix, it feels like the first Alien. Like when everyone's sitting around having the conversations and stuff like that, having their slop that if you close your eyes it tastes like runny eggs.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is a tangibility to that world. Like this is the shittiest of apocalypses, and they're just kind of making it work. They're just letting it out.
Yeah.
And funny you mentioned Alien, like it feels like Alien. This movie is a great example of kind of a melting pot or a mixing pot of all these different stylistic influences working together and making its own unique style. You could see traces from a lot of different things, from a lot of different film styles. So you got like John Woo style gun ballet, you got anime, martial arts movies, westerns even at one point.
Yep.
Sci-fi, cyberpunk, and post-apocalypse. It's great. It's just you can definitely tell the Wachowskis are fans of cinema, and they're just putting all their favorite things into one product.
You could say that they have a vision.
Yeah. Weird how that works.
Movie.
A motion picture.
So I think we've all seen this movie like many times.
Yeah, I mean not like probably like a handful. I really honestly haven't seen it that many times. Not within the span of actually grasping like what's going on.
Okay.
I saw it a shitload when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I've been watching this
Yeah.
since I was younger.
Yeah, this is definitely one where there's so many things in it that I that this is one of these movies where I give a pass to a lot of the corniness or any sort of like forced dialogue because
Hmm.
a lot in this movie is it's pretty like yes it does bring out some very like uh what's the word like psychology and like conspiracy
Philosophical.
philosophical, and it definitely does feel very like of the time and very over explained.
But at the
Yeah.
same time, it still holds up greatly.
Well,
You're
in a way, it's like it still feels very forced, but this is one of those films where I don't care. Like
forced.
I will gladly listen to Morpheus explain, the desert of the real and uh, what's
See,
real, what's not, what does it
Yeah.
matter.
well,
It's all just it's
well
great.
that well, I feel like that isn't forced, or at least in that instance, because we're following this character Neo. He's just been pulled out of a reality he's been calling normal for who knows how long,
Mhm.
and even Morpheus says over the course of at one point in the movie that it's a process trying to get someone adjusted to the actual reality that they're
Right,
supposed to be
maybe
living.
forced isn't the right word, but it's
Yeah,
definitely
It's very
over.
expositional heavy.
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
but this
but it's
movie
not so much of a
handles
problem.
exposition. This movie handles exposition very well, I feel.
Yeah,
I
there's way
would.
too information.
I think I would disagree. I don't think it does handle exposition very well. I think it's very like backstory and everything. It's very very dialogue heavy, which in this case, the lore and everything about it, about at least this first one, isn't really what you're kind of paying attention to. Um, it's
Yeah,
more of it's more of the action and the abilities and kind of the world of the Matrix instead of like the world outside the Matrix.
and
Like they're
also yeah, and also it's the hero's journey again.
yeah.
It's
Oh
one
yeah,
of the best hero's journeys in movies.
Hmm.
Yeah, it starts you off really good. Or actually, the whole structure of this movie, it makes me wish blockbusters would go back to this format a lot more. I mean, came out at a different time. Original concepts are few and far between nowadays, but still, this movie starts you off really awesome, and then it gets you into the meat of the movie, Neo, his progressive journey, and then it slowly builds itself up to something incredible, which
Yeah.
is
hmm
so good, still fantastic, and all the way engaging.
yeah. That's the thing. I last saw this film back in September, twice in 2 days with you, Nick, or sorry, yeah,
Yeah,
Nick, and
we
Ryan.
saw it in a 20th anniversary Dolby Atmos re-release, and
Yeah, this
Oh,
this
that
is
was
sweet.
my first. That was my.
yeah.
I'm sorry, man.
No, you're fine. Go on.
That was my first Dolby Atmos showing, and what a way to kick off that experience! Good lord.
Yeah, it definitely holds up, and not only like you said, the storytelling is not really something that we see too much anymore. This style or even structure wise, I don't know. It feels very
When
yeah,
you watch it, it feels like it comes from a a different era than
and
what
that's what
Yeah.
we got now.
I think I love about this film so much is that like it stands out from so many action blockbusters and um I don't know, this movie doesn't get tiring for me. Like it hasn't been a year since I saw it last. I'm still just like hyped, especially like
Yeah.
towards the end when Neo finally believes in himself and he's like he's
Oh
Yeah.
believing,
man.
and just the music and all this all these elements, dude, are just
Yeah.
are awesome.
It's
It's
super sweet.
Speaking of music, this movie has a great score by Don Davis, and also has some of the sickest needle drops in any movie ever.
oh yeah,
Straight up. All the use of electro, EDM, and techno music, and it's just and also like I don't know if you call it angry rock or something.
kind of
I
industrial.
have industrial rock. Just it fits so well. It's so great.
Yeah, yeah. I
Oh
have to
man,
agree.
yeah. But yeah, that score too. Like I love I love the music in this movie just all around. Like the music during the action bits or just even just general stuff. I don't know. It's great, man.
It hypes up the emotion and the intensity so well. Like it's this very
Yeah.
uh strong orchestral score. It's I don't know how else to
it
explain.
really is.
It's
It's
just really
powerful.
it really adds to every moment, especially like that rooftop chase in the beginning.
Oh my
Mhm.
god,
And
yes.
just the way it like I don't know, just the way it plays with the imagery and like it just flows together so well. It's
It
beautiful.
does. Yeah. It's incredible. Uh but yeah, touching on going off of that now, the action in this movie, the action sequences are yet to be topped. There's a few movies that can barely match up to this one by today even.
Hmm.
Th-
Yeah. I mean,
it-
some of
There's
the I think it's a bank scene. They go into that or something
Oh
like
yeah,
oh, it's the office building. They go
yeah.
into like the bottom of the office building
yes.
and that shootout with Trinity and
Neo.
Neo and all the security guards. That scene is so freaking sweet.
And I love how it's like entirely
Bitchin'.
filmed in slow motion. From what I remember, it's like
Yeah, yeah.
primarily slow motion.
Some of the best slow motion camera work
Hmm.
ever.
It's pretty damn seamless.
It
And
is very, very good.
happening in
Yeah,
that scene with
cuz
like debris and then explosions and the
yeah,
amount of action on screen is so damn impressive.
it's
It's
great.
very, very nice.
Neo's just going through gun after gun, pull him out of his duster coat. It's just so great.
It's
Go.
it's really damn sweet.
Yeah.
I enjoy. I mean, this is Keanu in his prime too. This is like
Mm.
top of his game. Keanu Reeves. I mean, I would be quick to say that right now is top of the game Keanu Reeves, but this is first Matrix is pretty has pretty damn pretty damn good Keanu line delivery and he's just got that 90s action star uh like vibe to him.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
like the really like I know kung fu. I know kung fu.
Yeah.
It's such a cheesy line, but it's like god damn it, it's Keanu, so you're like, you know what?
It's just
It's
Yeah.
so awesome still.
Yeah. His physical performance alone, I think is a lot more impressive because he, him being him, does a lot of his own action in his movies.
Yeah.
Like he did this movie with back injury, with back problems.
Oh
He got
wow.
he hurt his back prior to filming, but he still went through the fight training and was able to pull off a lot of the action scenes himself.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
That's
wicked.
that's super sweet.
And
yeah.
that's something I really like too. The four main actors, they do a lot of their own they do a lot of their own fighting in the movie, and they have their own
Mhm.
fighting styles, which is really cool. And big shout out to the fight choreographer Yin Wu Ping, who helped who did movies with Jackie Chan back in the day. A lot of the great martial artists of cinema. His fight choreography is so on the point. It's so incredible to watch. It's just great, and it's filmed like it should be.
Yeah. It's super super
The
good.
right amount of energy and style. Like
Yeah,
that's the one thing I love about this film, and it just seems like the Wachowskis in general, they have such a strong sense of style, and it, each set piece or any sort of action in this film, and even just the cinematography in general, it's so filled with so much texture and the amount of creativity is just it's unbeatable.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I want to bring up something Ryan said after we saw that Dolby Atmos screening. Is uh, this movie is always coming up with clever ways to transition scenes or edit different sequences together. This movie feels fresh minute to minute visually.
Hmm. I definitely agree.
Yeah, the editing,
Yeah.
the camera work, it's so slick, very seamless, and it just, again, it's coming up with new tricks every step of the way. So you do not get bored of looking at it.
Yeah. Plus, actually, isn't Bill Pope right? Didn't he shoot this?
Bill Pope, that's
And,
right.
and he shoots Scott Pilgrim, which I did
He
not know
shot,
either. So
yeah,
look at the connection.
Edgar Wright a couple different times actually.
Hmm.
Oh
Which
wow.
yeah.
Wow. Wow, I was unintentional. Huh.
Really got this-
Did you look at
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Oh wow.
I honestly did not put that together.
I was wondering if that was a coincidence or not.
No, totally coincidence. Yeah. I had no idea.
Great freaking what's the phrase here?
Coincidence.
Yeah.
It's a nice coinkydink.
Nice job, Chace.
Thanks. Thank you,
Huh.
thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, where were we?
Matrix.
Yes, the Matrix, but where in the Matrix?
Oh, good question. Where in the Matrix?
Oh, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't
Oh, he
have said
also
that.
Bill Pope also shot Spider-Man 2.
That was,
Yes.
yeah.
Nice.
And The World's
Baby
End,
Driver.
Alita Battle Angel, Jungle Book. Yeah, the guy's just a great camera guy.
Got a very
Yeah,
noir
definitely.
feel, this film.
He what?
A very noir feel at times.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't
He
know.
No, it's cool. He does noir, he films it. His shooting style adjusts based on the scene. So like
Yeah, it's like he doesn't have a shooting style. It's just his
no.
shooting style is whatever the scene needs to be,
Mhm.
Yeah,
which
this
is
scene yeah,
pretty
this scene,
wild.
it's wild. This scene's noir-y, this scene's kung fu-y, this scene's guns a-blazy. You know how it
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
And
is a kind of hard one to talk about because I feel like we all kind of really like it. So
yeah,
Yeah.
there's not much like debate.
wall to
Yeah,
wall
there's not much.
praise.
There is not much to debate about it.
Yeah. Chase, your visual effects guy. What'd you think of the special effects?
Oh yeah.
It's they. So I watched the like remastered version of it, like so I watched the Blu-ray version where the visuals have been updated.
Uh-huh.
But I was still really impressed with it. The when Neo gets put down into the jelly fucking
Oh
water,
yeah.
Mhm.
then the what can we call them? Centennials? Is that what it is?
Sentinels.
Sentinels.
Sentinel? Is that what they're actually called?
Yes.
Oh, cool. So the Sentinels, when it appears and it kind of floats above him, and it kind of got this like crustacean kind of feel to him. It's still all the pieces are designed in a way that still looks good like today, and that's impressive. That something that came out 20 years ago, over 20
Yeah.
years ago, was able
Yeah.
to pull this off. And um, there's some stuff here and there that looks a little goofy, um like the when the little belly button bug goes into his stomach and is kind of moving around, and Trinity's trying to get it out. That's a very common technique where they just get the model and then put a what am I trying to say? They put a texture over it that is the same. It's like a fluid simulation type thing,
Mhm.
and it moves around. But that's something that's still being used today, and it still looks super good.
So wait, the shots of Neo's stomach
And
and just a lump there.
his torso is mid drift when Trinity's got that gun that sucks out the
Yeah. Yeah.
little belly button bug. When it's
Uh-huh.
moving around,
Yeah.
it's using a fluid mesh, like a fabric simulation over top of another model, which is in this case it just probably was like a rough shape. and then
okay.
they moved that around the scene and tracked it by hand because there was no tracking back in the day. But it's something that's used today. It's something that still looks good, and it's just crazy that 20 years later it still is like, yeah, no, that looks just as good as it would today.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's wild.
see, I thought that was a practical effect because it
Mm-mm.
looked kind of real to me. The
Let me see.
thing
I'm
crawling
not.
around in his stomach.
Yeah, let me do some clickety clacking. I'm pretty sure that it's um a CG effect.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, overall the special effects hold up amazingly well, especially
Yeah.
The famous bullet time effect. That shit still kicks ass.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the way that they shot that is super cool. They
Yeah.
got like 100 cameras
Yeah.
and put it in the way that they wanted to. So the only thing that's actually CG about that scene is the exterior, like the background,
Yeah, the background.
and his jacket floating. Like if you
Yeah,
look
yeah,
at the
yeah.
jacket, like the tail of his coat, it doesn't look that good because they weren't able to get the actual like the nice folds and all that. It's essentially they're manually going through and
And
creating this ripple. But
yeah, even
but
then, who cares? It still gets the job done and it looks so cool.
exactly, and it's not the point of the shot is that, oh well, the jacket, it's the and it's the point of, people are so distracted about it, about the bullet time, that they're like, don't even really pay attention to it. But also back in the day that didn't look that bad,
Yeah.
but now it's just aged not as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Doesn't
this
help.
is
And they do something similar in Reloaded as well. They when Neo is fighting off, like, spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it, it's been out for 17 years, so I don't feel too bad. But uh he's fighting off a bunch of the Agent Smiths, and he's he has the I think it's like a tetherball pole, and he's like spinning around and stuff and like hitting them, and it's got that his coat just looks pretty not good. But for the time, I guess it was okay. But if you look at something like a year later, you had Spider-Man 2, which Spider-Man 2 at the time was like
wicked.
huge for visual effects.
Yeah.
It doesn't add up very well, but still, there's a lot more problems with the sequels than just some spotty CGI. So
Yeah. Maybe we'll cover them in a future episode. But right now, first movie is king. First movie is all that matters.
absolutely.
Yeah, and also like overall production design is really cool
Oh
because
yeah,
the stark differences between the reality and the Matrix very
yeah,
apparent. Like,
definitely.
the ragged clothes, the metal walls, the freaking food they eat. Even
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I
And
love
I
the
I,
scene
I
in
hear
particular. Oh,
no, go ahead.
the scene in particular in Neo's office, the building he works in. It's
Yeah.
just this drab, bleak world, and I think they definitely portray the artifice and the uh, of the so-called real world, the Matrix, and the one thing though, I think the Blu-ray copy of this must it definitely shows the the extreme green highlights.
Yes, definitely.
I was actually going to touch on that a little bit. So apparently, the way I heard was when the movie came out originally, it didn't have that green tint. That was added in all the home releases after the sequels came out because they had the green color palette and so forth.
Mm.
But for the 4K re-release and for that Dolby Atmos screening we saw, they switched it back to the less green color palette to match when it
Oh,
first came out.
damn. I was wondering if the 4K wasn't like this because it looked
Yeah.
pretty bad at points.
I'm not.
Sometimes it's a
I'm
bit.
not like I'm not horribly displeased with it.
Okay, it's not like a
It's
problem. It's just
Uh-huh.
yeah, no, but there is some times where it's like okay, damn, like this
Yeah.
is the lens like, did it go through a swamp? Like what's going on?
That is true. I mean, look at the DVD covers and whatnot. It's very clear that this first movie, it's got a blue cover and whatnot, and the sequels
Yeah,
are green.
exactly. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Is that like I remember seeing the cover for the Matrix and like the first one, and I'm like, this is like blue, and then all the other ones are like, this is like green. What the hell is going on?
Upgrades.
I guess so.
Still though, even with that green palette, it's still a style. It's still a
Mhm.
Oh yeah, it definitely helps portray the. Yeah, I think it works incredibly well. It's just
it
something
does.
else.
Yeah, tolerable at its worst, great at its best.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't even got to talking about the characters and the cast and
Oh.
whatnot.
Yeah.
They're amazing. They're all
Yeah.
great. They're all great, pretty much. And if there is a bad actor, I didn't notice it because they fit in so well with the world. That's my excuse with a lot of. That's my excuse with a lot of science fiction or just genre movies. If they develop a really rich world and they with all these colorful characters, if they can at least get the point across with their archetypes, then their performance can leave every which way. Whatever, I can let it just
I can see
pass.
that. I agree to
Yeah,
that.
but not this one though. Most everyone gives really great performances.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
not
all very solid.
Yeah,
I think
Keanu.
Mouse is the weakest link.
Who now?
Mouse.
Well,
Yeah.
sure,
I don't
but
like
even
Mouse.
then, it's not because he's badly written or his actor
No,
was.
bro. He's shit.
Huh?
I'm kidding.
He's
Wait,
You're
shit.
wrong, Nick.
Oh shit! I thought
He's shit.
You're wrong.
he said a weird freaking word or something. No, the Mouse is fine. It's fine. He does his job well, like I said,
All right.
and he dies quickly, so you're not
That's true.
left.
He does.
That is very true. Thankfully.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine, guys.
No, you're right. Though. There's no. I like your comment about if they fit the world. If they even if their performance is a little. If they make sense where they are, then it works, and that's what like every character in this, even if they're have corny lines or they are a little one note, they serve their purpose.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
And besides, the movie's about Neo's journey, and these people are just supplementing his journey to getting where he is.
Yeah.
And in that regard, they fulfill their purpose greatly. Some more so than others, like Lawrence Fishburne as Morpheus. This guy's a player. This guy's a badass. I love
Yeah,
him.
he's pretty sweet.
My favorite part, or I think just one of my favorite parts in this movie. I got so many favorite freaking parts, but the one I like to come back to a lot is the sparring session with Neo and Morpheus when they first start doing fight training. That's just a great warm up action sequence. I mean,
Mhm.
it's not the best what the movie has to offer, but it's still really freaking good. It sets the stage well with the actors in terms of the actors doing their stunts, they're getting their character across in the fight, and the filming and the editing and all that yada yada. Yeah,
Big
Yeah.
true.
I like Morpheus in that part though. The point of this all, he's like, you think that's air you're breathing? That kind of stuff.
Stop trying to hit me. Hit me.
Yes, yes, I love it. And also he does this really badass sidestep move, or whatever, to like he like strafes over and he does this neat maneuver to kind of stop himself. I don't know. I can't describe it, but it's so funky and it's so cool. Just like, damn, I want to learn to do that.
Upload it to your brain.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. It's easy as that, Nick.
God, I wish.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
brain goes
Which-
through the roof watching this movie. It's one of those films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about it, dude.
I
Hugo
it-
Weaving. Hugo Weaving.
Hugo is amazing. This is like I really I'm with Vic on this one. I don't know what else there is to say because everything that we're saying has been has been being said for the past 20 years.
We could still say it though, because
I
we
know.
love the movie and we love talking the movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Hugo Weaving, one of the best bad guys ever. Like, I love. It's oh man, you. If, that's my brain destroying
Yeah,
itself.
I agree.
Agree.
No, Agent Smith, he's such a rich villain. He himself a program designed not to question the system and enforce the laws of it, questioning the laws of the system and wanting to get free of the cage he's in.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
There's some really scary stuff in this movie.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, I had an edible before this. Watched this movie just
Oh,
because I've seen it
no.
so many times. I was like, can I watch this differently? I want a new take on it. And this movie's scary.
Yeah, it kind of
It's a
is.
terrifying movie.
Oh man.
The scene
Yeah.
in particular when they're in the human farm and they're describing like the people are fed
Oh,
dead of the liquid of the dead and crap to like power
yeah.
the.
You just
I'm
see
just
that
like,
endless
why?
expanse of red.
Just
bo-
these
tubes.
giant sentinel tentacle robots, and they're just like farming humans. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh come on.
and that music's kicking up. It's like, please stop.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
It is scary, and this movie has some of the best foot chases I've seen in any movie. They are so intense. They make me eat my nails. It's so unbearable, but it's so
Crunchy.
thrilling at the same time. Because you got that opening one with Trinity across the rooftops and everything. And then
It's
at
so
the
good.
end, Neo's running through the streets. He's going through marketplaces, running through apartments. He's getting knives thrown at him. He's being shot at. The agents are constantly switching bodies to catch up to him. It's so hair raising.
It's super, super sweet.
It's sick, bro.
Put that on the poster. Super, super sweet.
That's the pull quote. That's the pull
Perfect,
quote.
perfect.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh, Tank. He's so cool. I love every bit of line comes out of his mouth.
He also
What?
plays a really good villain in their first film, which is this is their second film, mind you. I
Oh,
don't know
Jesus.
how they did that, but
incredible.
their first film, Bound, that actor plays sort of an antagonist in it, which I would like to cover that film someday on the channel.
I'd be down to watch that sometime.
Wait, have you seen it, Nick? Because I feel like
No, I haven't.
okay, it's amazing, but yeah, his performance. I feel like he usually plays kind of a scummy character. I feel like there was something I saw him in recently that he played kind of a scuzz. Oh, Sopranos. That's right. He was in.
Oh, he's on The
Sopranos.
Sopranos.
Yeah,
How about that?
but anyway,
Yeah, it's a shame he couldn't be in the sequels because he had such a likable presence in this movie. Do you know the
Yeah.
story about? Do you know about the story about that one, Victor?
about what?
Why Tank's not in the sequels?
Tank? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, wanted
I
more
thought,
money.
I thought we were talking about Oh, I'm definitely getting the characters mixed up. I thought we were talking.
I was like, you were like, I
Oh.
definitely get the characters mixed up too because I'm like, doesn't he
Yeah.
fucking die?
I thought for some reason I thought we were
you're
talking about
Joe Pantoliano,
the bad guy, whatever his name is.
Cypher.
Cypher. Why did I think we were talking about Cypher? Okay, Tank. I don't know what movies he's been in. I was thinking about Cypher.
Joe Joe
The hell?
Pantoliano, he's been in everything. He's one of the best character actors in the last. He's been in movies for over 40 years. He's great
He's
in everything
right.
he's in.
God,
But no, Marcus Chong, who plays Tank, he's cool. I wish he was in the sequels, but for this one movie, he plays a very memorable supporting character.
but you
that
said
I just
he
go.
didn't show up because of more money. He wanted more money.
Well, the story was he demanded a higher paycheck in order to come back for the sequels, but Warner Brothers wasn't having that, so they fired him.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oof.
that's a
Oof.
shame. That's a shame. But hey, we got him in this movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
It was good thing too.
Carrie-Anne Moss, Trinity, one of the best action heroines ever, and she doesn't need to And she doesn't need to prove it by saying I'm a tough female. She just does it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's a trend coming around nowadays. Like there's a bigger push to make more strong female characters, but there's just this underlying message or this overt underlying message that they have to say they're a woman and say they're powerful.
It's
You know what I mean?
overt and underlying.
It's strange. No, it's weird how that works because they don't want to make it too obvious, but at the same time they're making it pretty obvious.
That's the thing I like about this film is that it has a very diverse cast and
Oh yeah.
um very inclusive, and I think that's awesome. And yeah, you're right though. They don't like, oh, Trinity. Yeah, they mentioned like you're surprised I'm a woman, right? But they never like take it any farther than that. It's just
Yeah.
she's just badass. That's all you need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah, that awesome crane kick in the beginning, it's slow mo.
Oh
That's
yeah,
all you need. That's all you need right there.
absolutely.
Yeah, very progressive, very inclusive cast of characters, which is always a good thing.
And it's
Especially
not
when it's
overtly underlying.
yeah,
Yeah.
by my weird logic, yeah. So,
Oh,
I don't
jeez.
know. I guess yeah. I guess you guys have a point. Everything that's said about this movie can be said.
Yeah,
And
I feel like I don't know. I kind of want to go more into like the themes and the story itself, but I feel like even that it's just like everyone it's it's pretty
sure,
obvious.
yeah.
It's nothing that like is super subtle or anything. It's a very obvious film. I feel like doesn't
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got themes and they don't beat you over the head with the filmmakers' philosophies or
Well,
beliefs system.
what I said is that it's all very on the nose. It's not really
Yeah.
subtle.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
fine. It's not subtle, but it doesn't pander. It doesn't pander to the audience a lot. It doesn't.
What do you mean?
No, not pander. Shoot. There's a lot of filmmakers nowadays that you could tell it's their voice speaking and not the characters' voices. This movie, not quite so much. It feels mostly it feels focused on the story instead of taking a microsecond break for the director to say, "Hey, this is what I choose to believe," so forth.
Well, maybe it is. Maybe everything they wrote in this film is dead, just what they believe, just 100%. So maybe
Perhaps,
you're wrong. Maybe you're
but
wrong.
I didn't feel like I was pulled out of the movie because of it.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm trying to say. I didn't feel pulled out of the movie in
I
those
see.
with all these things going on.
Okay.
yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
guys seen Hackers?
But
Have you guys seen Hackers with Angelina Jolie?
no,
I don't
I hear
think so.
it's kind of ridiculous.
It's ridiculous in all the best ways, but that would have paired really well with The Matrix if you want to watch Hackers soon. While
Okay.
it's
Yeah, maybe.
fresh. It's not like there's no sci-fi element. It's
Sure.
grounded for the most part, while the technological aspects are pretty pretty out there, but it's got the same kind of like same sort of music, the same wacky kind of like tech world. It's a lot of fun, but yeah, that definitely would be one that I would recommend
Yeah.
watching right after this.
Cool.
Hits a million command keys on the keyboard and bam, I'm in.
We're in. Yeah,
We're
exactly.
in. I'm in.
But yeah,
Matthew Lillard. Cool. I'm a fan of
yeah.
anything Matthew Lillard is in.
Yeah, he's great.
So
It's
nice.
so corny,
I'm
but
all
I love
for
it.
that.
Yeah. I think I've made my peace with this movie.
Yeah, me as well.
I feel
It-
bad for not like
It's
saying more.
I know. Who would have expected it? Who would have expected this underwhelming amount of talk about this movie? Oh, let's go over our favorite parts. I've said a couple of mine.
Yeah. I think my favorite part was I'm a big fan of the training montage scene. I also really like the free your mind, and he just runs and it's strictly the reason that I remember that scene so well is because there was a Vine that was like Morpheus saying "free your mind," and then it was so cut just absolutely perfectly with someone jumping off a roof and like slapping the side of like a shed. Like, it's just the that it keeps on coming back up. But I like the I that final battle is so good. Like
Yes.
it's built up through the whole movie, and I it's really nice. I enjoy
Yeah.
the ending battle a lot.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, no,
in-
it's divided up really good. You think he's gonna run for it, but then he turns around, he faces him, and then they have a Mexican standoff, freaking newspaper in place of a tumbleweed, and then
Yeah,
they go running towards each other, and they're shooting the guns, and spinning around, all weird, cool, and then they spin up into the stand. It's like wow, throw their guns away, and they're
yeah,
kicking ass. Wow.
it just
it's
such
sweet.
a like you know where the story is going. Like it feels pretty like once you've seen it multiple times, you're like, okay, feels cliche, but every time it gets to that final showdown, I'm just like,
Cliche.
damn it, it wins me over every time.
This movie feels too fresh to be cliche for me.
Eh, I don't know. I think it follows a pretty standard formula in terms of like the hero's journey. It's like very you're the
Okay,
chosen one.
sure.
Here's Judas. He's going to betray the guy, and uh, you know, bada bing, bada boom.
Bada
Okay,
bing,
sure.
bada boom.
It's pretty
Sure.
standard, but it's just the
Sure.
world's too damn interesting, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But but still, even then, it's all about execution, I
That's what I'm
feel.
saying. Yeah, I mean, while it is feels formulaic in terms of like how the story is, uh, the beats are hit, you know. But
If it was any other director and any other concept, this would be highly cliche and not worth talking about as much.
yeah, you're right.
But no, it's The Matrix. It's a damn classic.
I'll be 50 watching this and still be excited.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I hope.
Especially that lobby shootout. That's my favorite freaking part.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm all about my cinematic gunfights, and that's one of the best ever. Again, Neo doesn't bother reloading. He just grabs another pair of them off his coat. Trinity's doing freaking flips off the walls and everything.
Yeah, and the sound design of that scene, just sound design in general with this film, like the hits and the punches and the
The punches, the
gunshots.
gunshots, the
Mamma mia!
explosions, the
Mamma
slow-mo
mia,
gunshot.
pizzeria.
You said it.
Wild. I try.
Yeah. Oh no, the slow-mo gunshots especially are freaking cool when he takes off with those scorpions and whatnot. Just the sounds of them, just like
Oh, yeah.
it's so cool. It's so cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should stop just so we're not like,
Fine,
hey,
fine.
remember this?
That's all you can do with a movie you really freaking
I know.
Remember this
positively
scene?
love.
Oh, remember this one? I remember that. Oh, remember?
Remember.
Did you guys play Enter the Matrix on the old game consoles?
I
believe
did.
yes.
I
Yeah,
did. Yeah.
so cool. I mean, it has a lot of problems, but so much fun.
I'd like to play that again.
I got it on Xbox.
You
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
There's quite a few Matrix.
The original Xbox.
Oh, Enter the Matrix.
Yeah, Enter the Matrix. What
Oh,
do
I
you think
think
I meant?
well, no, I'm looking at the games now. I'm trying to remember which one I had played. I think I played Path of Neo. I think that
Oh.
was.
Yeah, I didn't play that one, but I heard it was not good.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
Eh,
Well, I don't know.
Let,
Do you have
let's get to ratings. Let's get to ratings. I'm fishing here.
All right, Nick, you start off then.
Uh, this is a 4.5 out of 5. What it is for me is a couple effects that are not so much, but that's nitpicky stuff. That otherwise, no. All the actors, all the actors do a great, fine job. The action is way ahead of its time, and it's its own unique brand of brand. That doesn't make sense. It's its
Yeah.
own. It's its own distinctive cinematic style and language. It's hardly been topped even to this day. It's it's straight up a landmark. What more can you say?
Yeah. All right. I guess I'll go. Um, five, 5 stars, 5 stars out of 5.
Yeah.
Money
Yeah.
shot, but being but
Uh-huh.
Money shot.
I just I don't really have much to add to this film because I think I've seen it so many times. I'm just kind of like I don't know. I feel like through my years of seeing this, I've kind of already talked about it, and I don't really know what else to add. But it's just so influential and
Yeah.
so much fun to watch. Even with all its cornier elements, I still don't care. I love hearing these psychological conspiracy things. I don't know. It's just there's so much in the lore that I am drawn to. I don't know. It's just great. I don't know what to say.
Oh no, it's
I
just
shouldn't have gone to bed so late. I would have been more prepared for this.
That's pretty neat.
But yeah, 5 stars.
Yeah.
yeah. I would probably go 4.5. It's pretty damn it's pretty damn good, dude. It's just for like I honestly don't know what else to say because it's just everyone. This is like people you can't sit and talk with someone and be like, oh no, I actually really didn't enjoy Matrix. It's like everyone you talk to is like, no, it's pretty fucking great.
Yeah, most people for sure.
Yeah. This might be actually be a 5. It might actually be a 5 in my case cuz I'm ignoring a lot of minor issues a lot of the time to even stick with the 4.5. So
Yeah,
shit, I don't know. I guess I'll do 5. Yeah. Yeah, I love this movie. It's been with me since the beginning. My brother and I went ape shit over this movie at a point. It was great.
yeah. This
Fantastic.
was my first R-rated movie I ever saw.
Heck yeah.
Probably around the same for
Yeah,
me as well. I think what I love too is like thematically, even though it's like the Matrix, like they're hiding us from the truth. Like there's something much deeper underneath. Like it's something that is not really a new idea, but it's still one that is relevant enough to like be interesting in a way. Like
yeah,
it shouldn't be because it's like, well, doy, there's like, we're not being shown the truth and it just the way it's presented here is just much scarier than I think it needed to
Well,
be, but it's
if
great.
I'm if I may, what I think it is, this movie has a technology angle around it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And 1999, that was the rise of that was around the rise of the modern internet and whatnot.
Y2K. It's definitely there's
yeah,
definitely
Y2K.
fear of intelligence, and I mean even now there still is. Like I
Yeah.
listen to like Elon's talk about Neuralink. I'm like, fuck, we're done for. Like it's
Elon Musk?
yeah, his technology Neuralink that he's developing. You should look into it if you have not.
Uh-huh.
It's a little weird, but this fear of sort of this ambiguous tech and uh I don't know where I'm going with it. Where am I going with it? I don't know.
How it's held up even in these modern times when technology has advanced so rapidly since 1999, and
yeah,
we're still drawing parallels to to the topics or just the ideas this movie brings up in terms of trusting technology or that things aren't what they seem or how the information is spread differently.
It's
Yeah.
essentially timeless. It's kind of a timeless classic
Yes.
because of that. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matrix.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
else? What else?
Watch it if you haven't seen it, which is really impossible because everyone else has seen it.
I take it you guys are excited for the fourth one, right?
I'm,
I'm a
I'm
little excited.
Yeah, okay, yeah. The more I think about it, the more excited I do get because Keanu is in a good position right now. He's back on his action game and he's doing
Yes.
doing the God's work. I think it was Lily or Lana, one of the sisters came back, wrote
Lana.
and directed. And my favorite thing, that's been great to hear in these last few years of blockbuster action movies. All the second unit action is going to be directed by the Wachowski herself.
Oh, good.
Yes,
Thank
because
goodness.
that was great. I've been taking notice of that a lot more. All the blockbuster action movies, they're big set pieces. They're just left to the second unit director because the actual directors have never done an action movie and they don't know what to do, so they just hand it off to the other guy,
That's
which
oof,
which creates
oof.
kind of a big disconnect. Like the vision kind of gets lost for something more safe and generic.
It's a sad state of affairs.
Yeah. So we need to get back to directors shooting their own action and making something of action, putting their staple on it.
See, that's
Yeah.
why, like with Chasky's like this. Yeah, okay. So I remember Speed Racer being. I really want to watch Speed Racer again because haven't seen that in like 12 years. But just from the look of it alone and the stylization of the whole entire production, it's like no one else does it like that.
Mm-mm.
Like, I didn't see Jupiter Ascending, but it's sort of the same thing. Like, it's so creative and so just weird.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know. I just feel like we need more directors, sort of, especially in action cinema and blockbusters, to like, I don't know, run
Go
the
all the
show,
way with their
go all the way.
movies.
Yeah, that's why I'm hoping Matrix 4 is just like, you know, let it be weird, let it be as corny as this one was. Like, I hope that they, I don't doubt that it will be, uh, I don't know, a showstopper.
Yeah.
I feel like,
It might not be it will definitely not be as good as this original movie. It might not even be there's a chance it might not be a good movie entirely, but
yep,
it will have its own identity.
Yeah.
that's what's important. I think.
Even with a really terrible Wachowski movie, regardless if you've seen it or not, you just hear talk of it and you kind of know what you're in for. It's
Hmm.
and that's what a good director should strive to do. It's like from movie to movie, it's their mark, it's their brand on that cow.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, do we want to get into Scott Pilgrim, I guess?
Scotty Pilgrim.
Scott
Scott.
Pilgrim versus the world, as it were. The whole world, the whole wide world, the entire freaking globe. Actually, it's just 7 guys.
Seven
No.
X's.
7 X's. Thank you.
Fine, fine, fine. 7
Break it down.
evil X's. I'm breaking it down here. Scott Pilgrim versus the world. If movies, Scott Pilgrim is your ordinary, average, young Canadian rock star who has fighting skills and just wants to meet girls. He coming off a bad breakup and being in a questionable relationship with with a teenager. He meets the girl of his dreams, Ramona Flowers. He wants to get to know her. He wants to slide into her DMs. But the kicker is, if he wants to be with her, he has to defeat her 7 evil exes. 7 guys, 7 douchebags with their own set of powers that he must overcome in order to win over the love of his life.
Bazinga.
Yeah,
7 evil X's.
brilliant. Who hasn't wanted to beat up their girlfriend's ex-boyfriends? I mean, come on. Am I right, fellas?
Am I right, fellas? Ah, ha, 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 ha.
Edgar Wright, he's something of a genius. Can
Yeah.
we agree? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cornetto trilogy, Baby Driver, fucking Ant-Man before it got the shaft.
Yeah. It's there. This movie is so near and dear to my heart, and it's definitely it it's one of those things where the more you watch it, like every time I watch it, I enjoy it a little more each time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I find little subtle things and the way that it's, it's a damn anime video game. The whole movie is just this big video game, and
Oh man.
it's so fun and it's so engaging, and there's never a single moment in this movie where you're like, wow, I'm bored.
That's something I
Yeah,
really appreciate. It's never dull.
I
Never.
agree.
Even for
This
almost being 2 hours, it's like it did not feel like 2 hours to me. I was like, wow,
No.
this was going by
no,
quick.
it didn't. I was laughing virtually minute to minute in this movie.
Yeah.
This is my kind of humor right here. It's making me laugh just thinking about it. It's fantastic. And you know what? Yeah, Chase, it does get better, but it does get better every time you watch it. For me though, it got significantly better lately because I remember watching this back in the day. It's like, okay, this is funny. Michael Cera comedy. No, he's funny. Uh, no, watch it again lately. Now that I have a grasp on film, I've seen Edgar Wright stuff. I associate Edgar Wright with his stuff. Uh, no, this movie is incredible. It's incredible comedy. It's a great fantastical little picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I still like this because I saw this only one other time back in like 2015. Uh,
Hmm.
so, and that was I was shown this by an ex. So coming back to this, I was like, oh god, like is this gonna be? Am I gonna still like this? I hope. And yeah,
Yeah.
I'm surprised. It's a lot of the humor in this is not something that you see in a lot of movies.
It really
Yeah.
is. It
It's very
feels like
witty, but like
yeah,
it's awkward and it's very
it's
random, which
yeah.
can be like sometimes too much.
Hmm.
But there's something to the humor here, and that's just it really works for me. It's very funny.
It is super wit sharp. And you know what? It feels like a live action cartoon in the best
Yeah.
possible way. Just
Yeah.
stylistically, the way they utilize all forms of comedy, it reminds me a lot of like a really good Ed and Eddie episode. Even
Hmm.
it's fantastic. And going back to something Ryan said, so when we talked the Lighthouse, he said he didn't feel the need to make like a gothic horror maritime set horror movie anymore because it was done so well in the Lighthouse. Me, I don't have the impulse to rush out and make a live action cartoon because Scott Pilgrim did it pretty much perfectly. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's the what it's trying to do, and like the audience it's trying to hit, and I can't even say, I don't even know if I can say the actual audience is trying to reach, because this is so able to be grasped by so many people that it reaches out. I mean, if you're a drama only like movie person, you're not gonna really like this movie. Like
Shit, yeah.
it's
Even
it's so comedic, and it has that British comedy feel to it, which is Edgar Wright, so he's able to understand that type of humor. Um, but
too well.
I it's just I don't really know how to explain it, but you're you're sitting on this in this ride of a movie, and it's like there's you're you're out of control of what's going on. There's all this lights and flashing stuff and random musical numbers, and like it's the whole time you're just like, this is so fucking bizarre, and it's amazing. It's so nice. There's some truly like hysterical moments in this that I catch myself thinking about quite a bit. Um, but yeah, I don't know how Edgar Wright was able to pull this off, and I'm really really glad that he did.
This movie radiates all kinds of happiness, and yeah, The jokes are just wonderful. There's maybe 50, 60, 70 plus memorable ass gags in this film.
Yeah.
And you're going to be quoting maybe 15 or 20 of them right after you watch it. Even if you're not, even if you are a drama centric person, I feel if you put a drama centric person in front of this movie, they're going to laugh their ass off. It's just almost guaranteed. Get some kind
Yeah.
of kick out of it. And it's really the cast. They're such great actors, and they're funny as hell. This is probably sometimes the funniest they'll ever be, which is saying something considering where they go on to nowadays now.
Yeah,
Michael
definitely.
Cera kind of nails it.
Michael
with
Cera
this-
does nail it.
This awkward, like just very aloof character,
Mhm.
and there's just his obliviousness to like certain things, or his misunderstanding of lines. Like I like the one where Ramona's talking about his shaggy hair, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I need to get a haircut," and just like super self-conscious goes to put on a hat and they go on a
Yeah.
walk. And he's like, we're not going on a walk just because you put on the hat, right? It's just some very funny moments.
It is. And then subsequent times they bring up his hair, it'd be like reverse shot of the character. Your hair looks different. Reverse shot of Scott, and the hat's just magically on his
Yeah.
head. It is.
Oh man.
Oh god, it's a shame. It's a shame we as humans can't lay out a intricate joke like that in description. You just gotta see it to believe it. There's a lot of funny humor that has to be seen in this film because you
Yeah.
can't tell to someone you look like a crazy person.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it. When I think of like, honestly, this is like probably top 10 of my favorite comedies ever.
I
I enjoy this movie so much, and I love people who haven't seen it. I love showing them it. That's why I was really pumped for Ryan to be on here to be able to watch this for the first time.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's so fun talking to new people who are like, especially if they don't know anything about it. Really, they just know that it's kind of crazy, and they go, "Yeah, wow, it was pretty damn crazy," but I loved every minute of it. You know, it's fun to have those. And a lot of people actually didn't see this movie.
I know that was it. It actually bombed in its day.
Yeah,
Kind of a shame.
Oh, wow.
and now it's like a cult classic.
Of
Absolutely.
course.
Yeah, this had all the makings of a cult classic. If we look at it, in its
Mhm.
full view, because Edgar Wright, he's a fantastic director, but he didn't get really majorly known until Baby Driver. I feel, or he didn't get
Well,
a whole
I mean,
get a
Shaun of the
everyone
Dead
knows
is a big one. I think that put him
okay.
on
That's the
the map.
exception. That's the
But like,
exception.
I do agree to a certain extent that Baby Driver did, like, because a lot of people saw Baby Driver, and so I do feel like that helped his stardom.
Yes,
But yeah, I've never actually seen. I haven't seen The World's End.
it's
Um,
great.
I own it. I have the like the bundle, the 3 bundle.
Yeah,
Mhm.
But I haven't seen it yet.
yeah, that one's
Yeah,
not
that's pretty
too
good.
bad.
From
I'll
what I
have to watch that
remember.
one again, but it's just as good as the other Cornetto movies.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. Hot Fuzz though is legendary by far.
Yeah, Hot Fuzz is great. I like Shaun of the Dead. I don't think I've actually seen Shaun of the Dead all the way through,
No
but
kidding.
Hot Fuzz is so funny when he pulls up on the fucking horse at the end. Is Oh my
Yeah.
god, dude, it's so damn funny.
Yeah. You're a doctor, deal with it. Yeah, motherfucker.
But
But anyway, Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim,
Same level of wit, same humor, same amount of comedic styles going on. There's psych gags, there's one-liners, quips, prat I think a pratfall 1 or 2 points.
Yeah, what I remember from the graphic novel, it makes sense that he did this because in that the actual comic itself, it's got the same sort of rhythm and energy. And with his prior experience, it makes so much sense that he did this. It's like he's the perfect fit for the material.
He's the man for the job.
Yeah.
He definitely, yeah. And it's very
I
like
don't think
awesome.
anyone else could have done this movie.
No, it definitely needed a a very similar style to the source, and it's just really awesome and surprising that he was able to like capture the same feeling, and like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, very impressive.
What's weird to think about is like, what if Marvel movies were made in the way that they're like really, really true to uh true to like source material, where like true to like down to the panels, where like the action lines and stuff and all of that. How I wonder what those movies would look like with Scott Pilgrim style effects.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that they are following a formula and they can't really stray too far away from what's already been built.
No.
That's why I'm like, what?
See, my theory was Edgar Wright was onto something there when he was doing Ant-Man, but then Marvel caught on. And he was like, "Oh no, we can't have that. Get him out of here. He's seen too much. He knows too much."
I mean, that's why he got fired, was for creative differences, and I can only imagine how much more creative it would have been than whatever that shit was.
Yeah.
No, well, not to get into that area, but the first Ant-Man was a fun movie. It was a fun film.
It's just unfortunate when they all have to be. Well, I guess maybe Ragnarok was stylistically.
They're all relatively the same. If
like
you can, like, specifically, there's only like a handful of like the Guardians of the Galaxy and Ragnarok and Black Panther are the only ones that I can, like,
and also the Russo and any of the Russo brothers movies.
No.
Well, no, not even the Russo brothers movies have been exactly the same as Soldier, which I'm not upset with at all. Like I think the you know, in the we're in the MCU area, it's fine, but I do think if they would have given Edgar Wright a shot, that would have been so cool to see.
Yeah, what I think it is, instead, rather than just generally just calling it bland for the sake of bland, it's like, oh, that movie's bland. I think it's bland. It's bland not because it's just bland. I think what it is the choice of directors they choose, maybe because they are always picking directors with drama backgrounds. They've never done action movies, or they've never read comic books, or they don't have any visual styles outside of just setting down a camera.
Confuses me. It's like, why did they hire on, like, you know, Mark Webb to do Spider-Man, and whoever just did, you know, Captain of Marvel, like, no action background. And
Yeah.
what's the point of that?
Mark Webb, I have very strong opinions about the Amazing Spider-Man series that we can get into at another time.
The series of 2 movies that barely got off the ground.
I guess I should say I'm a fan of the first one. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, other than the handful that I mentioned, those are the only ones that were like that were taken up by like a comedic director. Like there was another one, Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon did the Avengers, and the Avengers was amazing. And it's because they trusted someone who has mix in comedy and action, with, you know, Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Firefly and stuff like that.
You know,
that he was able to.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying that he was able to make it humorous and still action packed. And then I think the reason that he didn't end up doing the third one was because it was so far down the road from Age of Ultron, but like Age of Ultron was more of like, I don't know, it was not the same as the first Avengers, but yeah,
it was different in the right ways. I think what the best ones were when they got established directors to do the movies. People like Jon Favreau, Shane Black, Kenneth Branagh, even Joe Johnston, Taika Waititi. With people that are known and that have a solid background in films. I think those are the best Marvel films.
Well, Shane Black one was one of the like worst received movies
Well,
in
that's
the
what.
MCU.
Well, fans. That's mostly fans, and they're just being babies because the Mandarin wasn't the Mandarin. Fuck it. The story.
But I mean, think about it. The movie's being made for the fans, right? It's being made for the fan. And there's a lot of other
Well,
stuff
I
that
I
goes
I
into
just
it.
I kind of disagree there because these movies aren't based off any kind of specific source material. They're taking elements from source material, but they're not strictly adapting it. They're just they're making up their own stories and using the bits and pieces, so forth.
Yeah, yeah,
So I don't think it's just for fans. And at this point, it can't just be for fans. They want to reach out to every demographic possible. Disney, for
yeah,
crying out loud.
yeah. That is true. Um, but yeah, I back on the Scott Pilgrim. I think Edgar Wright is one of the best comedic directors right now. Baby Driver has a feeling of it's like tense and action packed, but it's still also hilarious. And he's really good. He's very obviously good at directing comedians or people in comedic actors, I should say.
Yeah.
I mean, Jamie Foxx is straight up a comedian. In Baby Driver, he is also probably the funniest character in the movie, other than unfortunately Kevin Spacey. But
Well, yeah.
you
I
know,
think as long as we mention the character he plays or his acting quality, Kevin Spacey's fine, but everything else is a no-no.
yeah, yeah.
A lot of everyone in that movie is funny. Let's just cut out the middleman. Everyone's funny in that movie, and everyone's
yeah,
funny in this movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone is funny in this movie.
Yeah, Michael Cera, his timing is so on point, and
Yeah.
probably the best of his awkward teen roles, which he unfortunately did get typecast into a little bit.
Oh yeah,
But
absolutely.
then,
Not even a little bit. He's
I wish he
absolutely
was.
played the same character.
I
yeah,
wish
but
we could just take out what's his name? Zombieland guy, Eisenberg.
yeah.
Yeah, Jesse
And
Eisenberg.
and just replace him with Michael Cera.
Just imagine
I would
Michael
like
Cera as Lex Luthor.
Social Network,
No,
Michael
I
Cera.
can't see that. They got their own flavors going on. Yeah, but Michael
Very
Cera's comedic
similar. It's
Sarah's
like
comedic timing is really damn good. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, one of my many celebrity crushes, she crushes it entirely here.
mhm.
Yeah, agreed.
Did that sound weird?
Well, now that you
Yeah.
pointed it out, yeah.
Yeah, no, it definitely did sound weird. We were gonna
Thank
ignore
you,
it, but you
Chace.
brought it up, so
That's like
Okay.
saying, hope this isn't awkward.
yeah.
So nice, Nick.
Fine.
Nice.
No,
Nice job, dude.
she's very pretty. She's got a dry sense of humor, and she does a great job as Ramona Flowers.
And Jason Schwartzman,
Man.
G-Man.
come on, he's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I haven't
and-
seen him in much anything else.
Yeah,
Okay. Actually, no, I have seen him in stuff, but I don't remember him very well. But this is one of his most memorable roles, and he does it very freaking well. No,
yes.
actually, you know what? Everyone is pretty spot on in committing to their zany personalities and giving them just giving him something extra, so they aren't just that personality. In fact,
Mhm.
my favorite character in this movie is Steven Stills, the talent. Mark Webber.
Yeah.
Whenever he's on screen, I kill over from laughter. He's so fucking hilarious.
That's the vegan
Super funny.
boyfriend.
No, Vegan is Todd. Brandon
Yeah,
Routh's
it's Todd.
character.
Right.
No, Steven plays guitar in Sex Bomb.
Ah, right. I got it.
He's so funny. There's the part where Crash and the boys are playing at the first concert gig, and he's freaking out, but it's all subtitled. And you just see his wild expressions screaming at Scott, who's not even giving him the time of day.
It's so
perfect.
funny.
So
It's hilarious.
a gig is a gig is a gig is a gig. You put
As a
aside your
gig is
personal differences,
gig.
but do it for the band, for the band, for the band, for the band.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Jason Schwartzman a lot. He's hilarious, but also someone that I was really surprised with at how like uh, is Brie Larson is actually really good in this. I'm not a big fan of her as an actress. I like her as a person, and I like her as like she's very activism for equality with women in Hollywood, which absolutely should be talked about by every single man in Hollywood.
Mhm.
But I'm not a big fan. I have never seen Room, so that's probably you know
Mm,
she won an Oscar for it, so it's probably pretty damn good. But
yeah.
I really wasn't a big fan of Captain Marvel. But in this, she plays that like bitchy ex-girlfriend role just so damn good,
Yeah.
To a T almost.
so good.
Yeah, Brie Larson, for me, kind of in action, but when she's in a role, she's very good, and this is one of her best roles. I feel just because she nails it so well. Uh, Chris Evans as what's his freaking name here? Lucas Lee, the second
Lucas
Evil
Lee.
X.
Yeah.
I
Oh
love
god,
the scene where he comes onto the set and the Universal
yes,
films theme comes on. It's pretty great.
yes, great. Sup, how's life? He seems nice.
I like Matthew Patel. Matthew Patel honestly is I think my favorite of the X's.
Mhm.
Which one's
I really am a fan of Todd Ingram. He is hilarious, and there's
Oh.
the vegan police, their
Oh
finger
god, the
guns.
vegan police.
And I'm writing something right now, and I'm directly stealing that, and I hope Mr. Wright is okay with it, or I guess probably the writer of Scott Pilgrim, but
Smoking eggs, bitch.
uh, yeah, Matthew Patel is so damn funny. I love the little Bollywood music scene,
Mhm.
That
and
that was
it's so funny,
yeah.
so damn funny.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that Bollywood thing was kind of weird for me at least, but it ended quickly and it did its job well.
Well, a lot of Bollywood movies have like even action movies have like fucking musical numbers in them.
That's why
What?
they're usually like a damn near 3 hours long.
What?
Every time I see a
It's
Bollywood
like
film, I'm like,
it's
holy
like a
yeah.
it's like a it's I don't it's like a requirement almost. It's totally a stereotype, but it's it's a stereotype because it's so close to being like oh man, it's funny. So they did that aspect of it really really
Okay, that
well.
makes more sense. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I've never seen a Bollywood movie.
Oh,
But
dude, you should watch them. You're fucking crazy.
I don't think I could I don't think I can hack it.
They're so just strange in the most amazing ways.
All right. Maybe someday I'll
Yeah.
watch one. Uh yeah, Matthew Patel, he was funny. Todd was a lot of fun. I liked Okay, yeah, there's fight scenes in this movie. The fight scenes are freaking cool as hell.
Yeah, they're pretty sweet.
So they're highly visual, and this, you know what? No, sound and visual. Sound is just as important in this movie. In fact, majorly important because not only because of Wright's shooting style, again with Bill Pope on camera, and his editing style, uh, but yeah, all those sounds, even the little effects in the background, they matter. I was watching the blooper reel for this movie today, actually, and yeah, it's one, it's a funny ass blooper reel,
Oh yeah.
and two, the soundscape matters a lot in this film. All the little cues that pop up, and just the overall audio language of each scene in this movie, it matters a lot, giving the
Yeah.
setting its identity. But yeah, the fight scenes are super cool. The choreography is amazing. The camera work is restrained or not restrained. It's wide. It's primarily in wide shots, and you're never lost for the most part.
No, never. I
Yeah.
can 100% understand what's going on in every moment of this movie.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, it's also like Victor, you were saying earlier, there's never a moment well, actually you agreed with me, I said it, but there's
Yeah.
never a moment where I'm like bored.
Right.
There's never a lull. There's always something happening, and it's always like most of the time that's not a good thing. You're like, wow, I need a break. Like,
Yeah, but
but
this movie
in
needs
this
to have
case,
that
it's
energy.
exactly. In the even in like the slower moments, there's always something going on in the background, or there's some little animation that pops up. Like even in the slow moments, it's still so damn entertaining.
Yeah.
And it's just I love this movie so very much.
I
Absolutely,
can see
man.
why.
The one I have one little nitpick as far as the fight scenes go, but the one fight I did not quite or not I was like don't like because you can't not like the fight scenes in this movie. They're just incredible looking. But the one that I wasn't that'd be like the lowest on my list of ranking the fights in this movie. It probably has to be the what was her name? Hang on. Roxy
Rox,
Rich Roxy's fight scene, just because the CG on her chain belt or whatever, it's a little too flashy and it kind of gets in your face a little too much. And so it becomes a little seizure inducing, just a bit.
I
And
thought I thought that I enjoy watching that scene because I like the fact that the first half of it is that it's Ramona and Roxy fighting, and then she's like, "Hey, just to let you know, if you beat me, there's nothing nothing's gonna happen." And then Scott's like, "Yeah, no, I'm not gonna fight a girl," and
yeah.
she grabs him and starts fighting with his hands. I think that's such a smart that's such a
that
smart way to go about that problem.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, then it rebounds with that, and I'm like, yeah, it's cool again.
Yeah.
And Mae Whitman is so funny. She's kind of an underrated
Oh,
actress.
she's hilarious. Super funny.
Actually, kind of a chameleon because I didn't know her as the little girl in Independence Day, and then I find out she's had a very successful career as a like an indie as an in indie comedies and so forth.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
she's great.
I actually know I first knew of her from Perks of Being a Wallflower. That's when I
Oh,
first kind of remembered who she was. If you haven't seen Perks of Being a Wallflower, absolutely do so because it's
yeah,
very very good.
right.
Um, in my opinion, I'm a fan of it. But
Yeah.
the yeah, she's also in she's an Avatar. She's the voice of I'm pretty sure she's the voice of Katara.
Really?
Yeah, she is the voice of Katara, and everyone and their moms are watching Avatar right now. So yeah, so
Oh, not
it's pretty sweet,
Cameron.
huh?
Not James Cameron's
No,
Avatar.
no. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Got it.
Yeah, we should watch The Last Airbender on here too. That would be
Yeah, I've
that would
never
be.
seen it.
Oh,
We should definitely do a week where or like an episode where we just watch critically horrible movies.
I'd be
oh,
down.
I'd be super down for that.
that'd be a cold day in hell. But sure, yeah, let's do it.
We could watch we could watch The Last Airbender, and then we can watch Dragon Ball Evolution.
Do you want
Oh
me to
yeah.
die?
Dude, they're so horrible. Like, at least for Dragon Ball, it's so bad that it's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking bad.
But
Yeah,
anyways,
uh yeah, I don't think I don't have anything else left to say about it. I love this damn movie.
are you kidding me? Shoot. No, I'm gonna keep going. Yeah, fight scene, the visual. other visual effects otherwise, aside from that chain whip, it's so cool and stylish. Just not only just overt stuff like, oh, we're making someone fly through the air or we're launching a fireball. No, the way they insert comic book panel sound effects over certain areas of the screen, that's genius. I think, like whoop,
Yeah.
thrack, thrack. I will say the part I related to the most is when Scott opens the door and he's blinded by sunlight and he screams to the heavens.
I
I can relate to
there's a
that.
scene- Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just the sudden rush of light after you've woken up. It's like 6 at night. Ah!
The scene where Knives shows up at the house and he dives out the window is
Yes,
it's comedic genius. It is
that
so
really is
the timing and everything is so fucking funny, dude.
perfect. That is
It's
the perfect gag. I
it's
Yeah,
love
very
it.
I think some of
That's
the
my.
funniest moments come with Scott and his roommate. They have pretty good chemistry.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Wallace.
Yeah,
Well,
Wallace.
it's hilarious.
Kieran Culkin. He's very funny.
Mhm.
What's the web address for Amazon.ca? Amazon.ca.
Amazon.ca.
That's just a taste though. His humor, his demeanor, his everything is perfect.
It's
People
a
said people
it's a
said I
damn
reminded.
good
I actually,
one.
you know what? I remember back in high school, people said I reminded them of Wallace, and
Nice. That's a good compliment.
yeah, in hindsight, I would have said yes, but back then I was just weirded out. I kept saying, "What? Who? What? No, stop it."
Yeah, there are too many things about Scott that I see in myself, especially his insecurity that isn't very justified. Where
No,
Yeah.
pointing
that's
out your
actually
hair and then being like, sorry. I I'm just like, damn it. And I cosplayed as him back in the day, and so I'm just like, well, fuck. I have this
I wanted
connection to the
We
character
gotta
now.
see that picture, man. We
I
gotta see
Oh,
wanted to
that.
see that
I don't
picture.
even know where it is. I honestly don't know
Look
where
for
that.
it.
Oh, I don't think I have it. I don't know where it would be. But
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
So
yeah.
visually, this movie bangs, but when you really get down into this movie, it's actually a lot more genius than it lets on, I think.
tell us.
Because we have Scott Pilgrim, this character. He's very witty and awkward, naive, and insecure, but he's actually kind of a douchebag, really. He treats kind of the people around him like dirt, and he dates a high schooler because he had a really tough breakup and he can't cope with it. And then he goes after this other girl while before breaking up with the other girl, and just all these different elements that feed into his character. And you see over the course of the movie how he becomes a better person and learns from his mistakes. That's really good, especially in a movie this flashy and this stylistic. It's one thing when a movie can be this visually impressive, but when they have something hidden going on, or not hit something hidden, something more oh
Oh
yeah, I think you know what I'm trying to get at, but it's great. It's accomplished very well in this film.
yeah. Yeah.
Believe it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go as far as saying he's a douchebag, but he definitely does some asshole things.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
his behavior is questionable.
He definitely is being very selfish, but also, he's for the first time in a while since oh god, what was Brie Larson's character's name?
Envy.
Envy. Ever since Envy, this is like with Ramona, it's the first time that he's actually been like in love. So he's kind of just very in a selfish mood at the moment, where he's just taking care of himself. Which in hindsight, he does kind of screw over his band, but the band isn't mad at him about it, like at all.
Mhm.
No.
So it's like he, they know I do agree that his character does change. He realizes that what he was doing in the beginning was he was being kind of a dick to both Ramona and to
Knives.
to Knives. And yeah, so I like the and then the conflict with Nega Scott too is kind of that on the nose. It's the negative versions of Scott. It's all the things bad about Scott that he has to overcome, and there's kind of a little bit of like symbolism in it, which he doesn't really overcome it, but or not symbolism, it's more metaphoric, but he doesn't overcome it. It gets along with it, so he's able to embrace the fact that yeah, he was an asshole, and this is a part of me, and this is something that I have to deal with, but doesn't mean that I need to completely forget about who that person was. And so when he walks out and he's like, oh yeah, we're we're getting lunch, he's actually a pretty nice guy, we're getting lunch later next week. It's kind of has a nice metaphoric undertone to it. I don't know if that was the point, but that's how I picked it up.
I can
No,
see that. Yeah.
That I can see that too, and also that was just a hilarious bit there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Two Michael Ceras getting along with each other.
I do have to say that Gideon, his sword that's like 8-bit, and
Yeah.
it's got like light trails on it and stuff.
Dude, that must have been
Is
a pain in the
it's
ass.
so cool. Huh?
Must have been a pain in the ass to animate.
Yeah, probably.
In this movie, I'm just like, good lord.
Well, because it's animated at a different frame rate than everything else.
Yeah.
So there's it's kind of like it would be kind of a pain in the ass to do regardless, because it's the same thing with like a lightsaber, but now you got to put in like light trails that aren't the same speed as everything else. So it's like
Right.
it's pretty fucking complicated. But they
Yeah.
actually do something similar in Captain Marvel. One of the characters has this like baton or like sword or something like that, and it's not nearly as noticeable, but it still has that thing. And I just thought it was funny that Brie Larson has been in 2 movies where there's
that effect.
where they do that effect, and and the effect looks great in Captain Marvel as well.
Yeah, funny how that works out.
Yeah.
Strange connectors. Oh,
I don't know what to say. I'm kind of good. TBH.
And also there is this.
Oh, he's going.
Something I just picked up. But like, there's also this message of kind of be happy with who you're with and don't focus on the past so much. That's something I kind of picked up on lately. I mean, I'm not even in a relationship, and I'm picking up these signals the movie appears to be letting on. It's like, yeah, you're with this great person. Don't focus on what came before. Just live in the now and move on and so forth. So that's nice.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give you guys something to talk about here.
Well, thank you. I'm just kind of.
Yeah, I'm a little I honestly, dude, I think I've talked about it as much, like, other than the visual effects and how every single shot has a visual effect in it. Like,
Pretty much.
regardless of like how big or small, every single shot has a visual effect in it. And that's crazy. That's a huge workload, and it sucks that this movie didn't get as much money as they put into it. Which, I mean, regardless, the CG, the animators and the artists, they all got paid already. But if it would feel good as an artist to be a part of a thing that's like, yeah, I worked on this movie and it looks good and it made a bunch of money, and I'm feeling good about it, and to be in work on a movie that bombed, but still is
There's been a lot of great effects heavy movies that bombed and still will look great to have on a resume.
Yeah.
The soundtrack too. I almost forgot. Freaking the music in this movie, so really freaking good.
It's very,
all the original songs they made for the bands. I love the style they fit into, and they sound very well produced, and shit, if you're into that kind of music, it might worth listening to over and over again.
Yeah, like I'm the Clash at Demon Head song that the Envy plays. I listen to that. That's on my heavy rotation playlist. So
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of that one.
yeah. I have to say the Crash and the Boys stuff is pretty impressive. I especially like the one where they say how sad they are.
Yeah, I'm sad. I'm very, very sad.
So sad. Thank you.
Yeah, there's we can go on and on about everything good about it's same
It's
thing with
not a
Matrix.
race, guys.
Yeah.
There's so much to talk about, and that we could do this for another 3 hours about. Oh, there's also this one scene that I like.
Yeah.
That's the theme with this double feature here, I think. These are movies that are better served for conversation instead of, I think, review, because you can easily say, oh, this movie's great because it has amazing visual effects and great comedic actors and some sharp writing. But no, that's not what you're talking about. You're talking about all the moments you love from these movies, and
Well,
you're laughing. You're laughing and go ape shit at what gets you riled up.
Well, it seems usually when we're doing these, like, especially Ryan, he's usually the one who's like, well, I actually don't like this. Or there's usually someone who doesn't like an aspect of the film, but we're all really in an agreement a lot of everything, essentially.
We're just feeling good this week.
So it's hard to, like, find new things to talk about because it's essentially just like...
Yeah. The Carrie-Anne twins fight, that's also one of, like, the lower fight scenes in the movie for me, because again, a lot of flashing and a lot of craziness. I think that's what it is. The Carrie-Anne twins fight and the Roxy Richter fight, they just have a lot more visual flair than the rest of the fights in the movie, and craziness, that it becomes a bit much, I think, for a casual viewer, I would say.
Yeah.
I'm reaching. I'm kind of reaching here, but still, it's whatever. It's whatever.
Look at the messy glops of Marvel action scenes.
Well, those scenes aren't terrible. What are you talking about?
They're not edited very well.
Okay, Black Panther, yes.
I wasn't even talking about Black Panther. Black Panther's
endgame climax scene. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
What climax scene?
The big battle, the end of at Endgame.
Avengers Endgame.
Yeah,
that was well filmed.
There's not. You don't get a lot of. I think I've grown. I don't want to say I've grown out of Marvel movies.
I've grown up.
I think I've moved on from being excited for them. I think I put so much into the last ones that I'm like, okay, I'm probably good to not get excited about them as much. Like, I was huge into it. I was really, really into Endgame. I saw Endgame in theaters 3 times.
Damn.
So, but I think that I do agree that the end scene is a little. It's like a fucking video game. It's just a CG scene, you know.
Yeah.
Well, what do you expect them to do? Throw harsh language at each other?
No.
Well, hold on. Let me. Okay, in the Marvel universe, 2 different movies, Aquaman and Endgame. They're both they're climatic showdowns.
Yes.
Aquaman, that had a pretty good climax, and that was all CG. But it was there was so much color, so much, and granted they are underwater and like this fantastical, world. But with Endgame, it was just so drab looking, and
because Thanos nuked the ever living hell out of the Avengers base.
Well, so
things are gonna look blown up. It's gonna look like Mogadishu over there.
My biggest upset about the end of Endgame is I'm getting tired of these big spectacle fights. I want a intimate like fight. I want a if this comes down to it, I want Thor Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, to those three should be the ones that are fighting Thanos while everyone else is taking care of everything else. I think if that was going on and they were in a totally different area, it would have been I would have been so invested into it that I would have nothing poor to say about it.
Still,
But
every single hero from all the 20 other movies and even the side characters finally coming together in a giant battle sequence, getting
yeah,
at least one time to shine. That is hype. That is amazing shit there.
no, absolutely,
And it's fun.
absolutely. I get that, but I'm saying is like if it was done in a way that I'm sorry, I just don't see the difference between like I guess I'm comparing this to like how a climactic showdown between, you know, Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker compared to a giant war scene.
Yeah.
The Darth Vader Luke Skywalker is going to be way more interesting to me,
Yeah.
just because
Sure.
there's so much more stakes, especially if it's
Yes.
Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, which they're essentially the ones that started the franchise, and also they're the ones that have had the most taken from by Thanos too. So, you know, uh, essentially Thanos has been haunting Iron Man for, 8 years, or in this case 10. I think it was 10 at the time jump.
Yeah.
And Thanos killed Loki, who is Thor's only other family member, and Captain America is he's there to protect the world, and he took all of his friends away. He took Bucky away again. You know, like I feel like that, and we do get that in the movie. Like we definitely get that scene, but it's really really short. And then granted, we do get a Mjolnir Captain America scene, which is one of my favorite action scenes ever. But
Wicked.
yeah, I don't know.
It
I'm not a
works.
big fan of. It
Well,
works for the movie, I think.
yeah. I think what it is your expectations and what you would have liked to seen.
Yeah,
This wasn't. I don't think this. It wasn't meant to be an intimate final confrontation. Thanos brought about the wrath of everybody, not just those individual people specifically. I mean,
yeah.
yes, them, but everyone else too.
No,
This
yeah, I get that.
this is a universal thing,
Yeah,
not a regional thing.
Spoilers for Avengers Endgame.
I was
yeah.
about to say, what the hell are we doing here?
Everyone has seen that fucking movie, so
Yeah.
like,
Let's get back to Scott Pilgrim, the movie that nobody saw.
Huh? What movie?
I don't think I have anything else to say
Yeah,
about
I
Scott.
don't. I don't.
Great, let's get to ratings.
Yes,
Yeah,
you go
start us
first.
off.
Fine, I'll
Oh.
start us off. This also gets a 4.5. This is like a solid 4.5. This one I definitely have my nitpicks, but they aren't enough to keep me from highly enjoying this movie. This movie gets better the more I watch it because I understand because I get the humor. Now I get things the story's putting out. It's got a great cast. It's got wit, sharp humor and funniness. It's got hype action scenes and a very unique visual palette, visual style. It looks amazing, and it's the fact that it's uh the fact that it comes off like a great mix of video game and live action cartoon is incredible for a person like me who enjoys this kind of stuff. So
There
yeah,
you go.
it fits the bill.
Fits it. Fits it.
I think I think I'm like 3.5, closer to a 4.
Yeah.
It's I'm just happy that I enjoyed watching after so many years, and while I didn't like laugh out loud, it's a lot of like comfortable chuckles, and it's
hmm
just clever. The humor's up my alley for the most part, and I just visually it's a treat, and doesn't really allow the viewer to get bored necessarily. It's just overall a pretty fun watch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great, and I just love the characters. It's just all together. It's just a very entertaining world. So yeah, 3.5,
Yeah.
4.
Yeah. I'd probably rate it. I'd probably rate 4.5. I enjoyed this movie uh when I was 13 years old, and I enjoy it more now as I'm approaching 23. So
Uh-huh.
10 years later, I'm still enjoying this movie as much as I did. Maybe even more. Um, just because I'm able to appreciate the work, and there's just so much love that you can see that goes into this movie, that from Edgar Wright and the visual effects teams and the editing. It's just so there's so much care and put into it that I I can't feel I don't feel comfortable rating it anything lower than a 4. Um,
Oh yeah.
so
Mhm.
so yeah, I would rate it 4 sex bombs out of 5.
Shit yeah.
All right.
No, a lot of that is Wright's attention to detail. He really cares about. He loves filmmaking. You just get it the second you start watching his movies. It's
Yeah.
the guy is dedicated. He's like me almost. If I could get an hour, maybe two, a room alone with Edgar Wright, we
Oh
could
yeah.
turn that into 8 hours. We could turn that into a day.
So
Yeah.
that's
What are you doing?
it's
Whoa.
good pairings because both of these films are so very unique and yeah, good pairing, Chase. Very
Yeah,
unique,
Thank you.
they're
stylized
very
films.
unique, and but they receive different amounts of acclaim over the years. The Matrix
Yeah.
a lot more universal than Scott Pilgrim's niche. A lot more niche. I can't think of the
Yeah.
word to go with that. God
Yeah.
dang it.
Well, are
Scott
you
Pilgrim
guys
being more niche than the Matrix's universal acclaim. There we go. That's how you make a
got it?
sentence, folks.
There you
Also,
go.
also Seinfeld reference. That's what I'll end on.
Oh, yes, I like the Seinfeld reference in the film.
Yes.
Very funny. Okay. We got some questions if you guys are done.
Oh, we got
Hell yeah.
questions. Great.
Yeah. I'm all for a question.
I really had to force the freaking question thing to on on the followers because
Mhm.
about damn time.
Yeah.
Uh,
Perfect.
so let's go. Here's one. Which movie have you liked the most this year? And this is from One Slide Review on Instagram.
Oh,
Which
okay.
film you liked the most this year?
That's that I've seen this year, that have come out this year.
I take it he means 2020 releases.
Could I go
I
first?
I know exactly what mine is.
I know exactly what mine is.
Yeah.
We'll all say it at the same time, okay? Because
Okay,
I think
one.
we're all gonna have the same idea.
Oh
Okay, okay,
well.
okay.
So
All right, let's
Okay,
do it.
ready?
Okay, okay.
One,
One, two,
two,
three.
3.
The
Oh,
Invisible
Five
Man.
Bloods. All right.
well, that didn't fucking
That didn't go well. Okay, wait.
Sonic the Hedgehog. That's mine.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
that's right. That's right.
Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, mine's the Invisible Man.
Which I have yet to see. I have yet to see. I've heard from a bunch of people that it's amazing.
Bro, it's
Um,
wicked.
is
It's
it? Is,
damn right.
I'm not a big horror fan. I'm a little bit of a pussy when it comes to. Is it
Well,
really?
I think even a pussy like yourself will enjoy a movie like this.
Yeah, it's
Well,
not like horrifying, but there's like some great moments
It's
of
a
tension in
thriller.
it.
It's
Yeah.
more of a
cool.
thriller, and
I'll
oh
give it
god,
I'll give it a
yeah,
shot. I
And
guess.
from a
yeah. It's
filmmaker's
got some.
perspective, you'll be pretty impressed with some of the ways he shoots uh, tension and action. It's really awesome.
Yeah, and visual effects, the way they play with the invisibility concept is so devilish and just gets under your skin.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I picked
And
Five Bloods just because I've only seen 5 films of this year, and it's just a fucking shame. But
Yeah.
I didn't, and it's not like a perfect film. I didn't like. It's not my favorite of all of the even the last couple of years, but it's the only one really that I'm like that and
I have
Invisible Man, I guess. So
yeah, I gotta make a watch list of 2020 movies that look like hopefuls because there have been some ones that have been catching my attention. For instance, there's this one called The Last Full Measure. Uh, this guy is trying to find out the story about this one Vietnam veteran that saved a bunch of soldiers, trying to find him. That looked like it showed promise. So films like that, and ones I missed either because they were pulled from theaters, or they went to streaming, or other direct-to-video releases, or even new streaming movies. I just gotta make a list of those to get to.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just when films are like $20 to buy on digital, I'm kind of just like turned off.
Yeah, me too.
Especially since I had a list and I was like usually just seeing movies for free. It's kind
Yeah,
of like
yeah.
it's
I
hard
mean,
to
I worked
rent it.
at a theater too, so I got quite a few for free.
yeah. I want to see First
For
Cow.
$4.
First Cow came out a couple days ago, so I'll have to
Oh,
watch that.
yeah, me too. I'll watch that too.
I know a new Herzog just came out recently, and I was gonna watch that and review it, but I didn't. But yeah, I know
New
there's a lot of
Herzog.
new movies, but I just been such a slacker on watching any 2020 releases.
I'm not a big fan of. I'm really not a big fan of watching movies, like new movies for the first time, not in a theater. Because I know myself, and I know that I will get distracted and not watch it the way that it's supposed to be watched.
Yeah,
Tell me about it. God, I
So
was trying to watch a Gamera movie the other day. That was the fourth time I've attempted it because I was so distracted by everything else in the house. It's
yeah,
ridiculous. That could just be my ADHD going, but fucking A, man. I just want to watch the movie, you know?
yeah,
Put me in a seat in a black room, giant screen, hold my attention.
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. It sounds. And the sad part is I probably won't feel comfortable going to a movie theater, or like, I mean, unless I work there, which it might happen, might not, but I won't really feel comfortable going and sitting down at a movie theater until this all clears up. And it
Oh,
doesn't sound like it's clearing up. It sounds like it's getting worse.
yeah, for another 2 or 3 years, maybe I won't feel comfortable if they do
I mean,
open them up again.
as soon as the numbers start dipping down, I'm gonna go see a fucking movie. I'm not waiting 2 to 3 years to see a movie in the theaters. I'll tell you
I
that.
didn't say I was gonna wait 2 to 3 years. I said I won't be comfortable in a movie seat for
I mean,
2 to 3 years.
I might within that time like slowly start putting together like a mobile theater, like something that I can put up and take down when I need to. So, meaning like get a projector instead of maybe like because I get myself a nice Christmas present every year. So maybe instead of getting the TV that I want, I say fuck it and spend an extra $200 on a nice projector.
yeah,
Yeah, I've had this dream of doing backyard drive-in movies. I got a
Oh yeah.
screen. I have a projector. I just need a way
Mhm.
to hook up. I just need some speakers and a way to hook up an
Yeah.
external player source. Like if I take
Mhm.
I'll take my Xbox One on the patio or something. I don't know. But
Exactly.
if I could get that setup going, then I will be in major business here.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I have a projector right now, but it's like a little it's 1080, but it's really really dark. It's only like I don't know if you guys know like lumens or anything like that, but essentially 3000 lumens is like pretty solid brightness,
hmm
and this only goes from 600 to 900.
oh
So
Mm,
it's really, really dim, and you have to watch it in like total darkness, which I'm fine with. But yeah, it's I think I'm gonna end up getting getting a projector and like some nice speakers and yeah.
crazy.
all right, all
Any
right.
more questions, Victor?
Yeah,
Um, yeah. Let's see. JYA channel. I didn't. Says what do you guys think of Microsoft buying WB Games? I didn't know this was a thing.
Me neither.
like wow, yeah, let me see. Let me look that up. I didn't know that.
No, me neither.
Buying Batman Mortal Kombat. I mean, that's kind of cool. It gives me a reason to because that means the means the Arkham games would be probably going exclusive to Xbox and Mortal Kombat.
Well, it's just a rumor right now. It looks
I
like.
guess so.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
they're
don't have.
interested in buying Batman, Mortal Kombat development, Warner Brother Games.
Yeah,
So
I don't know.
I'm cool with it. I'm a PC kid, so like I don't really
Yeah, I don't
care.
really care either.
I don't care too much about it, but I am I do like the fact that it's giving more of a reason to get an Xbox for me. Like I don't have I can't really see myself buying a next gen console,
Yeah.
but with those, like, the Arkham games are incredible, and I like Mortal Kombat, and so that kind of moves me into the direction of like I'm considering, if I do get one, I'm considering more of the Xbox than the PlayStation.
Well,
Yeah.
as an Xbox guy, I would just like to say I don't really have a comment. I don't keep track of who buys which company, just so long as I get some good games out
Yeah.
of it.
Same. As long as the games are good, that's all I really care
Yeah.
about. I kind of don't really
Sure.
follow much gaming news anymore, so I don't really,
Mhm.
I don't really
Yeah.
care. As long as the
Yeah.
games are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as the games are good.
As long as the games are good.
Ray asks, what if the M in parentheses Matrix was in real life? Embarrassed emoji face, water droplets, laughing emoji.
What?
That's a beautiful question. What if the M?
Yes, in parentheses Matrix was in real life.
What if the Matrix was in real life? So, like, what if we're in a
Think.
simulation? Is that what is that? It kind of sounds like what it's getting at.
He's definitely yes. He also says ha 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 and Scoot Pilgrim is sexy. So those were his responses.
Sweet.
Thank you, Ray.
Well,
Thank you,
I
Ray.
agree with the second one. For sure. Scoot Pilgrim is sexy for sure. But yeah, it's very plausible. It's very plausible that we're living in a simulation. I mean, anything's possible these days. Jesus. So
Don't think that's the case, but if it was real, eh, I wouldn't want to live a lie. Give me that red pill.
hell no, fuck that. I'm telling you what, I would rather live in my stupid made up world than to be living in a world where I'm eating goop and all this stuff, and I have none the wiser of what's going on. Sure, let me live my make believe life.
But you can go back to that make believe world and become a badass. You can learn to free your mind, bend the rules of the program. You can fly. You can get guns. You can do all this cool stuff.
I'm totally happy with my boring normal life at the moment.
I say take out the AI controlling us and farming us, and we essentially are living in a sort of hidden, veiled existence where.
Yeah.
Disagree?
I don't know. That whole lizard people talk is a bit silly.
Lizard people talk? What are you talking about?
Well, it's kind of.
So you believe everything you're being told on the news? You believe
No,
everything?
not to get that. No, let's not get that riled up. But no, we're not living a simulation.
And right, I think a simulation is far fetched, but I think everything else that film tackles is pretty spot on.
Yeah,
It raises some points.
I mean, I believe the lizard people as much as I believe a giant man.
I didn't mean to bring up the lizard people, but
you brought up the lizard people, and now you're gonna pay.
Yeah,
I don't want to.
How dare you disrespect our reptilian overlords?
F you, Nick. You really just screwed the
I'm
pooch.
leaving. I quit.
Fine,
Cinema
go.
Spink canceled.
Fine.
Episode.
Fine. I'm gonna reboot. I'll reboot the series.
More like repoop.
Oh,
I think that's all we really have for questions.
No more questions. That's a shame.
But yeah, if you guys want to drop a question, follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah.
Now we'll
message us, guys.
Yeah,
message us. We gotta fish for these things.
Feel free. You know,
So,
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
if Ryan joins us next episode, I think it's his pick, so we'll have to shoot him a message and let him know what's going on. So that'll be in the next 2 weeks. That episode will drop. Whatever movies they are, I don't know.
Yeah. And if not, it'll be me.
Yeah. So
Perfect. Do you know what you're gonna choose if it is you?
No, not quite yet, but I will pick something. I will get back to picking something we haven't seen before, because then that'll give us a lot more to talk about.
Yeah, definitely.
sure.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Well, if you guys are good, I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm
Cool.
fine here.
Well, thanks for listening, everyone. As always, we really appreciate it. And like I said before, make sure to follow us on all the social medias and give us a like, subscribe, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. See you
And
again in 2 weeks.
questions, guys. Ask us questions. We want to take your questions.
Yeah, we like to interact with you guys. So
Yeah, I love it. That sounded
That-
really
that's-
fucking condescending. I know. I'm not
We
genuinely.
really love you.
Yeah, no, I love answering all your fucking questions. Yeah.
God, get the hell out of here.
cool. Well, goodbye, everyone. Thank you.
See you around.
Bye.